Well, as everyone is aware, there's a shortage of Rolex sports models. Some people are saying it's only steel. Some people are saying it's all three, steel, two-tone, and even precious metals. Of course, if you've been keeping up with used prices and used piece availability, at least in my area, I could have told you that weeks ago. I think the only thing around me is a two-tone blue sub that's still there for whatever reason. And down south, by 3 or 4 hours, there's an Explorer 2, no holes case, black dial, for $4,500. The funny part is that, 6 months or a year ago, I would have looked at that for $4,500 and I would have demanded that the seller take a drug test. Now it's like, yeah, 45, yeah. Funny. No one knows how long it's going to last, this drought, or Rolex cutting off the supply. No one knows why, but I suspect it probably has something to do with money. Yeah. Anyway, so if you have been in the hobby for a while, and if you've scored some deals, if you've bought and hold, good on you. Awesome. And if you're trying to get into the hobby, man, this ain't the best time. So, the ArchieLuxury advice about used steel sports stunners doesn't really apply anymore, at least not right now. So what would you do? How would you advise a new person? Would you tell them to get on an AD list and wait for months or maybe a year for a Submariner like it was a Batman or a red Sea Dweller or a Daytona? Or would you tell them to go for another brand? What other brand is credible for new people? Possibility might be a 41 millimeter Datejust, a modern one at an AD. Because when you think about it, I almost think if you got one in stainless steel with an oyster case, smooth bezel with a black dial, that's kind of close to a Milgauss or maybe even an Explorer 1. It just doesn't have the Explorer dial. Kind of like how the black ceramic GMT can almost, it almost kind of looks like a Submariner at a distance. And unlike a sports model, they might actually have it in stock, and you might even be able to discount or haggle on a little bit. So, anyway, if you're, or the other thing is, do you think you would go the Theon Harris route and look for an old Datejust or an older Datejust? Look for a vintage piece and find something like that to love, until this drought ends. I have no idea. As usual, I don't have answers, I only have questions. So, what would you do? What would you advise a new person to do? Another brand, sports models, mid-tier, or go vintage? It's interesting. Anyway, I hope everyone out there is having a good hump day. And, life is short, times are hard, and let's try to be there for each other. Thanks.